may be a serious problem on our southern border and on the northern border, but what about the aliens who may be crossing another border? Oh yes, the border above. That's right, we're talking about outer space, aliens, extraterrestrials, LaToya Jackson, you know, they're here, they're among us. More and more people believe that space aliens may be coming. Now, listen to this story, because this is an actual news story. This isn't like out of the Weekly World News. Chicago O'Hare's airport recently, the United Airlines employees claim they observed a flying saucer-like object hovering low over the terminal for several minutes before bolting through the thick clouds with such ferocity that it actually left like a creepy hole in the cloudy skies overhead. So what was it? A hoax? An alien attack? Were they observing us? Is this a military operation? What is it? Joining us now is UFO historian Richard Dolan and the guy who actually broke the story. His name is John Hilkovich. He is from Chicago and the Chicago Tribune. John, let me start with you. The UFO witnesses in Chicago, they're not nuts, are they? They are like really fine, upstanding people.
And they're very serious about this. They're all United Airlines employees, ranging from pilots to supervisors who heard chatter about this on the radio and raced out and saw it in the sky, aircraft mechanics, veterans of O'Hare who've been there for a long time, know how the lights can play tricks in the sky, and they say this wasn't that. This was a real metallic gray object low in the sky, and they want answers.
Okay, do you believe them? Do you believe them that they believe it, or do you believe that they really saw what they think they saw?
I believe that what they're reporting is real, and they were concerned about safety. They're not necessarily saying that this is a craft from another galaxy, sure, but they're saying this is a unidentified flying object low in the sky over the world's second busiest airport. It could pose a collision risk, who knows, a security risk in this era post 9/11.
Okay, well,
and
No, let me go to Richard here. I'm sorry to interrupt, but let me go to Richard for just a second and ask you, because isn't this the same kind of thing that when we had the new stealth fighters out, everybody was saying, it's an alien spacecraft. No, it's just a secret military aircraft that we hadn't announced for years in advance. Is there a possibility that you think that this is just some sort of military aircraft that we haven't released, that we have?
Sure, anything's possible, Glenn, but if you want to go that route, then I think what you need to do, to be honest about it, is go back through the decades and indeed generations of reports that we've collected of these types of objects that people have been seeing. And let me just add that this is a phenomenon that not simply civilian people have been dealing with, but U.S. military personnel have been encountering what appear to be UFOs. I don't know what else you would call them. Objects that military pilots have frequently said are disc-shaped, that look exotic, that behave in unusual ways, and that have violated sensitive airspace time and again for many, many years. So if this is a secret covert project, as many people have speculated, it seems to be going on in a rather confrontational, provocative way, and that really doesn't have any explanation.
All right, so John, you think that this is, there was some sort of a cover-up. At least the FAA was not real honest with you when you first asked, right?
Well, yeah, I went to the FAA and they said they have no reports of this at all. I put them a Freedom of Information Act request, and then they got back to me several days later saying that in reviewing the communication tapes at O'Hare, they did come across chatter involving this object, and that a United supervisor contacted the FAA manager in the tower and asked if the controllers had seen anything unusual. Also, United Airlines told me that they had no reports of this, even though the fact is that they were interviewing up to a dozen employees who reported observing this, asking them to write reports, draw pictures, After my story broke on Monday, United said, well, yes, we have been talking to these employees.
Okay, so Richard, why would United, why would the give me an explanation of why these guys would be hiding this stuff?
Well, I mean, one reason just might be that they're embarrassed to come out and say that, oh yeah, you know, we've got this UFO hanging out over O'Hare and we don't know what to do about it. Let's face it, if you're running a large corporation or a bureaucracy, the last thing you want to do is stick your neck out on an issue like this. And so it doesn't surprise me at all. And in fact, this is, again, part of a long history. FAA as well has not always been forthcoming over many, many alleged cases. Witnesses have seen these very bizarre things for years and years, and it's very tough to get a straight answer out of a lot of government agencies or other corporate bodies.
All right, but then, John, let me go back to you and ask, I mean, geez, I saw Saddam Hussein hung with a cell phone camera. How come there's no pictures? Are there pictures? Is there video? Is there anything? Here it is over Chicago and O'Hare Airport. How come we don't see any visuals?
Well, pictures haven't emerged yet, but I'm told that the flight crew that was being pushed back, one of the pilots did open the windscreen, look out, did identify this object, and he had a digital camera. He may have taken some pictures. We're also hearing other reports that there may be photographs from camera phones and such, that United Airlines may be aware of this, and I'm working, believe me, to find these witnesses.
Okay, if anybody has information on those witnesses, how do they get a hold of you?
Jay Hilkovich at ChicagoTribune.com.
Yeah, I mean, if you got pictures, man, send them in, because I'd like to see them too. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. Now, let's check in with Nancy.
Possible motive in the brutal killing is tied to a Las Vegas strip club.
He's the Las Vegas man who claims he can summon UFOs on command. Pretty wild. So we sent Action News reporter Mike Dell'Estrito to get the real story. But what he found shocked everyone and could leave you wondering, are UFOs real?
Breaking news, solving problems. This is Channel 13 Action News, live at 11.
Well, let's take another trip back into the realm of paranormal tonight. Last night we had ghost hunters, now UFOs.
That's right, and there is a Las Vegas guy making an extraordinary claim about extraterrestrials. So we sent Action News reporter Mike Dell'Estrito to check it out. Mike?
All right, guys, just listen up here. This guy says the Old Testament, written in Hebrew, taught him how to summon UFOs. All right, he says he can also do this on command, and he adds he's been doing it for 25 years, keeping all of it secret until now.
These beings are here. They're here. They're just sitting right up there.
We met up with Prophet Yahweh, seer of Yahweh, at Doolittle Park off Lake Mead. We picked the day, we picked the time, and we picked the location.
Everyone's going to think you're absolutely nuts.
Well, I thought I was absolutely nuts.
Until he says he saw UFOs. Over the years, 1,500 of them.
Can we make it 1,501 today? What do you think?
I'll try it.
He says the voice in his head told him to go public now. So we took him up on his offer, and we scanned the skies. Nothing but a few clouds. When the prophet started praying for a sighting, I wasn't exactly convinced.
I pray, oh Yahweh, that you send a sighting so that they know that I am not mentally ill. I am not a false prophet, like those who seek to kill me say I am.
I see something straight up.
Oh, brother, look at it. There it is.
You can barely see it, a white speck. Then another sighting.
There it is. I got it.
Photojournalist Jonathan Hawkins locks in on it. Let's take a closer look here. It's an orange sphere that appeared out of nowhere. I call the boss with an unexpected change in my story.
I can see it clear as day. In fact, it's bright.
I can't believe this.
It's moving pretty fast.
It's going to Nellis Air Force Base. It wants to be seen.
We called Nellis to see what these things might be. Guess what? They didn't call us back. But this thing started coming back toward us.
It's coming toward us now, I think.
What?
See, it's coming up toward us.
Whoa, man! Oh, hallelujah!
Then, a few seconds later, it disappeared.
It's going back up in space.
Prophet Yahweh isn't concerned. He says it'll be back.
And I'm still not quite sure what those things were. Now, if I didn't see this for myself, I probably would have just laughed this whole thing off. Prophet Yahweh says, though, this is just the beginning. He says we're going to see a lot more of these things starting next week. And he says one will come down low enough for all of Las Vegas to see. Mike Delastrito, Channel 13 Action News.
Interesting. You know what? If anybody knows what that was, please call Mike Delastrito and identify that object.
So, Jerry, do you mind if we play the X-Files theme song while you do what?
Yeah, really.
I think I can handle it.
Yeah.
No comment on that. Let's, from a scientific point of view, let's go right to early warning desert Doppler. And, you know, that's not the best for picking up UFOs, but I'll tell you, it's pretty good for thunderstorms, all kinds of wacky convective activities.